Hi everybody, my name's Abby. I enjoyed the chapter this week. I feel like I got a lot out of it, especially I think it was really helpful as I thought about my workshop and how I could use this information to better my workshop. And as I thought about my topic of, I'm doing my topic on the importance of different types of intimacy in a marriage. And so I think that is a really important topic because I think a lot of the times um, different forms of intimacy might get forgotten and they don't become as important in a marriage. And so I like to discuss that. One of the things that really stood out to me in the chapter was when they said that that traditional family life education has an underwhelming participation, and I think that's really sad because I mean obviously this is my major and I think it's something important, and whether I go on to do it in to be a counselor, to work somewhere, or just to use this in my home to better my own family, I do think it is quite essential. Um, I really liked that the four P's, and I especially liked product. And I think the product that we offer is so important. And we need to be educated, and we need to know what we're teaching and to teach it in a good quality. That way people can, and teach it so people understand what's going on and how it can be used in their own personal lives, and it's not just us up there talking to them. One of the things that we need to know to better improve our topic, or to improve our product, is to know our audience and to know what they need. And so I like that it talked about focus groups. And so, you know, you could do surveys, you could do different things to understand what people need. Um, I really liked in Appendix A, it has all the different principles. And there were three that stood out a lot to me. The first one was the principle of order, and it was to think and act intentionally is what I got out of it the most. And in our own homes and in our own families, we need to think about what we say and how our actions affect those in our family. And the other one I really liked was the principle of momentum. And in the example, it talked about an emotional bank. And if we want to get the most out of it, we have to put the most into it. You can't make a deposit in your relationship, you know, every few days and have it be something little and then think all of a sudden you're going to end up with a great relationship. You have to be consistent in kindness, in loving your spouse and doing things to help them and to show them that you care about them. The other one was the principle of loss, and it said, to me, it was the cost versus the benefit. And so it talked about, you know, avoiding being in close relationships so you don't get hurt. And so, but when you do that, when you're not in close relationships, you don't get the full potential of growth and intimacy. And that is such a special thing. And I think being close to another person and loving another person and loving your children and not just your spouse, but having that closeness is such a gift that our Heavenly Father gave us. And I think that is why it's so important that we um, teach that to other people who might not understand that totally. And so I also liked the different types of approaches in family life education. And the expert one is more where they're just lecturing you and there's not a lot of discussion. And so I wonder how effective that is for people, as sometimes they might not be able to take it as personally and get the most out of it if they don't get to ask questions. On the other side, there was the facilitator who kind of goes in there, you know, and doesn't have a specific agenda and just follows what the audience needs and their questions and goes where they need him or her to go. And it also helps the people to understand their inner knowledge. And I liked that because I think sometimes we all know certain things, but we aren't really willing to accept it or to take the time to understand it. And so with the facilitator, they are more able to help the people reach into their own selves and instead of being told what to do, kind of figuring out on their own. The collaborator again was the, as you all know because you all read, was the expert and the facilitator, kind of a combination between those. The interventionalist, I think that is a really cool one because they focus on change, and that is what we all are focusing on because we're all here on this earth to grow and to change and to learn. And so for the interventionalist to go into families and to help couples and spouses, to help children, and help parents understand how to change and how to improve themselves so that they can have a better life and a happier home. And then there was the one that I don't really know how to say, eccentric. Anyway, but that one has all the approaches, which I would think would be the most beneficial since it kind of incorporated everything. So moving on, in the book they say we have to keep asking ourselves why we do what we do, and that really kind of hit me because I think sometimes, especially being in college, like I'm almost done with a major, and so sometimes I'm like, okay, just get done. But I have to, it made me stop and think like this, I'm doing this major and I am learning about families and I'm learning about marriages and I'm learning how to help and improve those so I can be better in my own marriage and in my own family, but also so that I can help others who need help and who I can share my expertise and my understanding of this, and just to better them. And it said, you know, it's our personal values and our experiences and our lifestyle that help us to help others. And also they say here, there is a quote in the book that I really liked. It said, family science embraced a vision of making the world better through the work of university-trained professional experts who would generate new knowledge and pass it on to families and the community. And then it went on to talk about the different models and how, you know, at first it was thought that the professors will go and they'll find the information and it'll trickle down to the families. But I think it's more of a circular thing. I think that professors talk to the practitioners, who talk to the families, who talk to the practitioners, and they all go back and forth, and we all need each other. We need those who are trained, we need those who are out there teaching, and we need the families. And so we all rely on each other. And anyway, well, I hope you all have a good evening. Ta-ta.